Hello, kia ora everybody. Welcome to Talkback Sundays. We are back. Michelle is your host for tonight, and she has an amazing guest, and she's going to introduce her in just a second. Tonight's a meaningful subject. It's DJs, producers, electronic music, something very close to my heart, and I have a history in the scene and absolutely adored all my time in that world and learned a lot and traveled the world. And I used to be one of those annoying people photographing DJs in the booth back at gigs all around the place. And yeah, and we've just got a while. I had so many good times, and I'm going to bring Michelle, and she's going to introduce you to a very special woman. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Selena. How are you?
Good to see you. You're back, safe and sound.
Oh, it was such a mission. Like I didn't realize the admin it was going to be to get just to Australia, which is so close. But yeah, the PCR tests, the RAT tests, all the documentation was a mission, but it's worth it. My suitcase is actually blurred in the back. I just wish you gripped it. Yeah, it's been pretty hectic, but
yeah, I never liked unpacking coming back from a trip. It's like, no, I'm ready to unpack.
I need to do my laundry and things like that, but I'm excited to catch up with Zeisha.
No place like home. Okay, cool. Let's bring in Zeisha.
Hey, gal, how are you?
Oh, hello, kia ora. How's it going?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to obviously get you on because obviously we're working together with Immersive. And obviously with your incredible background, obviously I would want to interview you for sure. Not to mention most of my guests have been all males, so it's nice to have a beautiful female on that's successful in the industry. So basically, I think just kind of give me a bit of a brief on what you're doing. Obviously you've been in the scene for a while and what you've got planned for the year.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on. I'm very grateful, and working with you is actually a blast, and I love bouncing ideas off you. And I just think, yeah, it's really fun working with another woman who just has her shit together. It's amazing. I love it. It makes every week just so much fun, and also like I'm really grateful to have you on the team. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I do. I'll try and sum them up real quick because I don't want to ramble. But DJ, vocalist, writer, producer, I guess marketing, branding for Immersive, looking after investor relationships. What else? I mean, I'm studying full stack development. It's very hard.
I don't know how
it's very hard.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's basically, learning a lot of different languages, computer languages, and trying to make the front and back end work and databases work. So it's always, every single class is just so full on. And I haven't studied for like about 20 years. So this is the first.
Be back into it, like just
it's huge. It's huge,
and the mindset having to get into the study mode and retaining information. It's pretty full on. Not that we're not doing that already with Immersive.
I know with Immersive. That's it's a whole new world, I think, for everyone, and I think we're just on the forefront of something so special and new and exciting, as we've talked about before. I'm diving headfirst into, all the knowledge that I can soak up about the Metaverse and Web3 and what we're about to do with that. And how cool is it working with our boss who just has so much energy, and I love working with inspirational people. And I think, such as yourself, I think that we're gonna rock this.
Of course. But I think for
Yeah.
me, like, what was so exciting is obviously like we both come from entertainment creative backgrounds. And to me, when it first came to light to be involved with Immersive, obviously I was trying to see how we'd both fit in the space. So like, how would you kind of say your DJing and music background is going to help with Immersive and Web3? And, you know, do you see that transitioning into live performances at some point online?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, a lot of artists have already sort of taken to, you know, the metaverse and kind of decided with their teams and with their structure. You can see it in the avatars that they create. For example, Ariana Grande has her own character in the metaverse, and if you look at like Marshmello, a worldwide international DJ producer, has done a live show in the metaverse. There's just so many things that artists are doing, creating NFT collections. You look at Snoop Dogg, they're taking these ideas of and they're working them into the way that they, you know, work with their music. But I think for me, the reason why I wanted to get into the metaverse and into Web3, I sort of decided with myself that I wanted to learn how to, first of all, I wanted to learn how to make an NFT collection, because I looked at what deadmau5 was doing, and I looked at what Flume was producing, and I looked at what Snoop Dogg was doing, and I thought to myself, you know, these guys, they're jumping on this new idea. It's something that's never been done before. And I think with NFTs and the ability to connect the work that you do creatively as an artist, I think the creativity and the work that you produce, you're able to connect directly with the fan base that you have. And I think it's really tough because everybody in the music industry wants to own their intellectual property. But there's so many different layers to it. You've got the artist, and then you've got managers, you've got tour managers, you've got publishing, you've got record labels, and everybody wants to take a piece. So it's just about working out how you as the artist can kind of take back your creativity, and take back your power, and also connect with your fan base and give them something to, I guess, something substantial that they can take away from this and be rewarded. So there's a lot of information to take in, but I think that you know, with NFTs and that's just the start really for artists, and I think that there's a lot to work in there. And once we have sort of like a really good plan and structure of how that looks for the music industry, then I think there's no stopping the rest of the world from catching up and doing that.
For sure, because I mean, the big thing with the metaverse is that we're obviously taking our own personal data back. And so we've got more control with, you know, what they see, how you're represented, obviously making sure that you're getting a solid amount of cuts and people aren't clipping the ticket, so that you're kind of losing a bit of control in your creativity. But kind of going back, I mean, obviously you're like top 100 DJ in the world, which is incredible. Such a thing. I was like when I was posting today for this story, I was finding like seeing all your songs. I was like, look at this girl. It's pretty impressive. But like, how many years have you been in the industry? Like, how did you figure out that music was your passion and purpose?
I've been in the music industry for, I think, about 20 something years, but as a DJ for about a decade. So only really 10, but when I say it like that, it's quite a long time, really. So yeah, I have been doing this for a long time, and I still love it so much. And I think with performing, it's just something that I think people have their hobbies, they have their interests, and they have things that, you know, some people like to drink. I like to DJ.
So cool, such a vibe. Because obviously you've performed at loads of Kiwi events, like Dreams, Rhythm and Vines, like a whole bunch of the big kind of festivals. But do you have like do you have a standout moment or show or performance?
Yeah, it's funny because there's so many. Every time I play a show, I look out into the audience and I see people, their faces, their faces really kind of say it all. They're like, yeah, they're like,
Just living.
they're just
Absolutely.
living. They're in the moment. I think what we're missing so often in life is living in the moment, being present. I've been trying to do things such as meditation just to be present. But when you are on stage, that's kind of my meditation because I look out and I can be there in that moment and just be really like not judging anything, not judging myself, just being there and just living and breathing with these people who are also living, breathing, and just going nuts. Like, yeah, there's nothing better than looking out and seeing them just being there, feeling it.
Because that's what we were saying, because at St. Alice a few weeks ago, obviously both being performers, like we really vibe off that high energy and like the whole give and take receive thing. Like I think that's the most special thing about performing, personally.
Yeah, definitely. You'll know exactly what I mean. It's we are sort of the conduit for people to be in touch with probably a deeper sense of self that they don't get to tap into as often. So when you combine that with music and movement for dancing, it is really just something that people then feel that if you do it and you actually give people permission to do that same thing themselves, and then they feel okay to come out and dance and be happy or be sad or be let out the anger, let out the frustration. I think everyone can kind of relate to that over the last couple of years being locked down and locked in.
Right?
Just having that freedom to be themselves in that moment is a beautiful thing.
So true, because obviously like with music, dancing obviously works with that because it's based off emotion and the ups and downs and things like that. What would be your favorite genre of music to DJ to? Do you have a specific genre or do you kind of play a bit of everything?
Now I'm smiling because in New Zealand, drum and bass is such a large part of our culture right now. And it always sort of changes. Like 2015, it was trap. Now it's drum and bass. House was kind of mixed in there, probably early 2000s. You probably love a bit of house, eh? A little bit of
house. Like, this is old. I'm like, shush.
Shout out. Yeah, I guess for me, I've always, when I entered the DJ scene, I guess you can say, it was at the height of trap. And trap for me was that outlet of, it was for me, it was about being a bad bitch. It was about coming out, and these instruments and these sounds were making me move and making me just, there's something about playing trap versus playing drum and bass versus playing house that is just really like an outlet of all the feelings that have kind of been mustering up there, for a while. I think trap is just one of those ways that you can kind of be badass and just let it all out.
Yeah, you must feel super powerful on stage, right? And just kind of seeing everyone vibe off your vibe. Because, I mean, obviously you can influence people's moods purely just based on the music and, what you're expressing at the time, which I think is so, like you said, such a beautiful experience. But to be able to experience the whole crowd from your angle must be.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is as well, because I do play all genres, but I like to mix it up so much that they don't know when something else is coming. So I might chuck in a dubstep track that I've made as an edit, but no one knows that it's going to drop into dubstep. But when they do, they're just like, they throw their hands. They're like, how did I get here? Who did I come to listen to? Because, that's really what it's about. I think surprising people and giving them something they didn't expect, because that to me makes a memory, and memories live on long after the show.
Yeah. For sure, because I mean, like I said, you've done massive festivals, but then you've also, do you do kind of private parties as well? And like, which one do you prefer?
Oh,
Like,
from
intimate?
time to time, yeah. And I have played for a lot of corporate brands, and I've played for Mecca, I've played for Swarovski, I've played for Bondi Sands and things like that. And then I've played, in my earlier days, playing corporate events where you're playing for hardware companies and you're going in there. And I remember playing for this company, and they had me play during a rugby game, which was like the worst possible time to play because everyone wanted to watch the All Blacks versus Australia. And they've got me playing, and they're like, "Can you shut up, please? Can you get off stage?" And it's not just me on stage. The poor saxophonist is trying to quietly play because we've been booked to play and told to play, but then behind us is this giant screen with rugby on.
Oh, and everyone's just not there for
you
not
got
there for
it.
you guys, It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is it. Like, I didn't just go from playing, like little shows to like, oh my God, now you're in a festival. I've done a lot of work that people didn't want to do. People were like, I'm not playing that. I was like, I'll play it because I want to earn money, and I want to build up my studio, and I want to earn money so I can pay for these speakers, and I want to pay for production lessons, and I want to pay for things that we're going to invest back into my career. So I didn't care what it was. I was just doing it. And I'm glad I did because, it makes you who you are, and it also pays bills. So, got to start somewhere.
Make that bad. But that's another thing that buzzed me out the more I kind of got to know you since we started working together at Immersive, is that when you were probably playing at these All Blacks games, I was probably cheerleading.
Yes.
And then when you were like at, say, high life events, you were DJing and I was dancing, and we kind of had this weird crossover where it was like, I knew who you were, but we never had a proper conversation, but we're at the same events, and that's just nuts to me.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw you years ago, and because I always used to see the girls dancing, I was like, man, they look so beautiful. They're so good at dance. I used to actually look at you guys and be like, I wish I could dance like that. I wish I could dress up like that and dance like that. But, I was doing my thing, but I was never going to be a dancer. But yeah, I really appreciated the time and effort and the energy that you girls always brought. So,
well, I think that's a whole thing. How you were saying that obviously at the All Blacks game, people are there to enjoy the sport. And I think when we used to run out, sometimes we'd have awkward moments of, Warriors, fans, partners just being like, what are you doing? Put some clothes on. It's like, it's literally entertainment. I'm not going to run up to the stands and steal your man, hun. It's okay.
Like, I'm fine. Okay, I've got my own man. I don't need a man. It's the same with DJing though. There's a lot of when I play a show, there's a lot of men up the front. There are women too, but a lot of women do leave. Like they kind of tend to be like, yeah. Oh, I've had women yell things out at me when I've come from behind the decks up to thank people for coming, and they've been yelling like obscenities, and I'm like, okay, forget about that. But yeah.
I think that's a tough thing sometimes, right? Like when you're obviously successful and good at what you do in your career, if you mix that with good looks, it's like #judgment.
Hard, hard work.
And also being taken seriously in your space as well,
Yeah, and I like to have a lot of fun as well. I like to, I guess, I hold back on showing my real personality on social media because, there's a sense of being a professional, but also sometimes I'm like, will people really understand what I mean when I say this as a joke? I don't think so. So I'll save it for TikTok, I think. Once I am a little bit more confident with putting my real personality out there rather than just being like, hey, here's a show, come to this show. It all takes time.
That's the whole thing, because you've got a good management team as well. Like I think you were telling me they manage Metallica and Wu-Tang Clan, don't they?
He did. He did manage a couple of really big names, and also Troy Boy, of course. of which I toured with Troy Boy in Australia and New Zealand. I think it was 12 or 13 shows. But my manager, he's amazing. He's so inspirational, and he really works hard for me. He's been my manager since 2014, and you know, there's always a lot of no's and things, and he's done everything to, you know, build me to be the artist that I am today. And I am really grateful, because I would say yes, like I said before, I would say yes to a lot of things, and they weren't always helpful towards my career. And then I would tell him later, and that wasn't really good to do. But he's definitely helped me sort of, streamline everything so that I am not, you know, I'm doing the best for my career, and I'm not kind of straying and being like, I don't have any drive to do anything outside of what I'm doing. I just want to do the right things and get to the right place and reach my goals. My goal actually is to play EDC one day. They actually just released a lineup for EDC 2022.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go there and be inspired. And, you know, it would just be a dream to play in Las Vegas at anything, really. But Las Vegas is, I was telling you before, it's
you're saying oh, crazy. Well, fingers crossed with Immersive going well. Best believe you try to get out there as well on the decks.
Oh, amazing. Can you imagine all of us up there?
Yes, I can. That sounds like a good time to me.
Oh, I can see it. I think, you know, it's funny because I had a bit of a cry the other day. I was listening to a mix of mine. Not because it was bad, but I had a cry because when I'm listening to my mix, I think of like everything that I've put into it. And I think of being on stage and putting that dream into, you know, making that dream a reality. And then I just realized, like, over the last few years, I'd actually forgotten, I've forgotten who I am and what I'm doing, because COVID has really just thrown off so many of my own plans. So I guess listening to the mix made me cry, because I thought, wow, we could really do this. We could really turn things into something special, with Immersive, with my own DJing, you know, with anything that any of us put our minds to. I think anyone can take away from that. The last 2 years have been very difficult, but I think if you put any effort and energy behind the things you really want, you can get them, you can achieve them.
Yeah, for sure. Because like you were saying, obviously you being in events and being a performer, like I was exactly the same, affected since August last year. You know, you go from touring New Zealand with doing all these amazing shows, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, actually, we're going to completely shut down your industry as well as hospitality and venues. And it's just such a deflating feeling, you know, because obviously, like we both discussed at St. Alice a few weeks ago as well, that even though we're these big performer personalities when we're on stage, in real life we can be quite introverted and quite, you know, we need to go recharge in our little hermit and recharge. So I know exactly what you mean. But do you have whereabouts are you performing next? Like, where can we find you? Do you have any dates locked in?
We do have a lot of sort of bookings in the works, but nothing I can kind of release as of yet. I think everybody is sort of just trying to find out like what's going to happen, because the last time we opened up, I think, when was it? I hadn't played from August to now. I only played once in Whanganui. So I think everyone's sort of just holding back on gigs at the moment. But I had 3 shows cancelled, and I think a lot of people, that was in February. And that was because of uni, you know, all the O-Week shows, which are really fun to play. And it's really nice to connect with all the new students who have really just kind of for the first time started studying. O-Week is just that energy and that vibe that you can't get anywhere else. It's just a really cool place to meet people and connect and, you know, and kick off the year. So those shows got cancelled. But that's okay. I'm not upset about it. I just think that we're going to do this bigger and better next year or end of year or whenever. So it's like, yeah, we're just kind of hanging in and going, what's next? Are we doing shows? Are we working on an album? Are we working on getting bookings overseas? Like, what are we doing? This is a lot in the works, but nothing that's really set in stone as of yet. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. And I feel like that's also a huge thing, an opportunity in the metaverse is we don't need to be necessarily next to people to enjoy a concert environment. So I feel like that's the way it's going to kind of transition, right?
Yeah.
Most likely, because it's just so many things, travel, for us to even get there's a mission.
Yeah, and that's why I think with the metaverse, we are in such a unique place to be able to experience entertainment and be able to do the work that we want to do. And I hate saying it's a virtual world. It kind of is. It's a whole new world that I think we can tap into, and we can sort of still live out our dreams in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, it's like
we don't
another
have to leave where we are,
Yeah.
It kind of, for me, that sort of journey started with Twitch. When the first lockdown happened here 2 years ago, I decided to start, live streaming on Twitch, and, I was designing my own emotes and getting, sort of rallying people around New Zealand and the rest of the world to come along to a set and make it a show. And it felt really, really good.
Yeah.
Because there was all this sadness around, and people, the unknown and the uncertainty, and the anxiety around what's going on, like, what are we doing? And, I just had I kind of was a bit of a planner. So I'd already planned and bought all the equipment to live stream, but I never hooked it up, never had the time. So when I did, it was like, okay, now we create this thing where we can bring people in, bring them closer together. So I guess working with Immersive now, like seeing how we can do shows, and how we can, build. We can take real life and we can take the metaverse and we can smash it together.
Merge it all.
Yeah, and it's a different sense, but yeah, it's same, but different.
It is, and that's the whole thing as well. As I've been trying to think about, how are we going to merge those worlds? And obviously, when I went to Australia and had a chat to investors and things like that, it's such a broad opportunity. Whether that be, like you said, Twitch, so like gaming, you've got creative, like musicians and entertainers like ourselves. Like, it's everything will slowly transition to that, but because we're running out of time a little bit. Whereabouts do you study to DJ, or do you kind of just pick it up if you're passionate about it?
I taught myself, and I also have taught 13 other students as well, and I've got 5 others waiting in the wings. So when we actually get out of this weird traffic light system, we'll be doing that again. I'll be teaching it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Just in your own kind of links, or at a specific venue?
Yeah, just I do private classes, so yeah, just at my house, really.
Sick. Yeah, because I saw your link tree on your Instagram, and I was just trying to, angle people towards where they could contact you. So where would be the
Underplayed is the place to, Underplayed NZ. If you want to hit me up on Instagram,
cool.
Go through there.
Just at Zeisha, isn't it?
Yeah, you can go at Zeisha. You hit me up anywhere. Just anywhere you can find me. Find a contact button, hit the contact button, go.
Put me a message. I love it. So I think Selenya might be playing a few of your songs potentially. I'll see if she'll jump back in and give it a bit of a whirl.
There's only one out there at the moment, which is quite funny. When I say quite funny, I mean there's only one, and it's not actually under my name. Yeah, well, it is under my name. But it was released. So I work with a producer in the States called Hyper Days, who was amazing. And we put this track together over lockdown, and it was really just about, who's going to be there for you when the world is over, really. So that was the track that we came up with. And the rest of my music, so my own original music, has not been released to date. but it's in the works.
Yeah, no, I think I was sitting next to you, and I think your producer was pretty much trying to push you to get ready for releasing all your new tracks, but obviously being super busy with uni, immersive, life in general.
Oh, life in general, and also everything has to be in the right timing, right? So, yeah, it's funny because I've been playing my music at shows, but it's not being released. It's still just like waiting in the wings and waiting for the right time, and it's all a part of the plan, you know. And of course, I would love to just dive and just go, like let's go, but I think if I don't go in with a plan, then it's probably not going to be the best thing to do for me.
Divine timing, right? And I think that's a whole rush the process.
That's why you have a manager as well. You know, I'm a bit all over the place, and he knows what's best for me. So I'll just take the back seat for that one. I'll write a music. I'll come up with music. I'll sing songs. Great, perfect. I'll lay down the tracks. But when it comes to managing my own brand, I can manage brands. Managing my own brand, no, that's not my job. Can't do that.
Absolutely not. Because that's why you're going to be amazing for Immersive, because you're brand and marketing manager. So I'm learning lots from you as well, which is exciting.
Oh,
I think we're just going to jump off, Zeisha. We'll play a little outro potential song, hopefully. Selena, are you there?
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hi, I found it. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Oh, yes, I can hear it.
Tell me. This is Hyper Days. Did Hyper Days do the remix, or you just did the collaboration together?
Yeah, we collaborated on this track together. And it is, both of us, what happened was I found him on SoundCloud and I listened to his music and I got goosebumps straight away. And I never get that when I listen to music, on the reg. So when I found him, I messaged him. I said, "Your music is amazing. Like, if you ever need a vocalist, even need a songwriter, just let me know." And we just worked on that track together. So yeah.
Oh, I'd love to hear your voice. I definitely be looking up some of your singing.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I would wait.
Who's your dream producer to work with?
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I released anything that has got my voice on it. Does it make sense? Yeah. So that song has got my voice on it, but as you can tell, like, it's been manipulated a little bit just with the way that Hyper Days' style is. But yeah, just hold up. You'll hear it. Probably, hopefully, in a few months' time, we'll have something substantial to release. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I think Selena asked you, babe, who's your favorite producer? Like, who do you look up to, and who would you one day want to work with?
I would. Well, actually, that's this. Oh, Siri is going to try and talk. Well, I used to want to work with Kanye, but I don't know what the hell is going. I don't know what's going on with him.
He's a bit nuts at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's kind of the opposite of everything that I stand for. So I mean, and I don't mean, I definitely. There's a big suitcase to unpack, but he's a very talented and creative individual. No word of a lie with that, but holy shit, the way that things have kind of unraveled, I really feel for Kim in that respect. So it's kind of hard. I wanted, creative geniuses, but yeah, hard to say. I don't know. Skrillex, he's bloody amazing. He's amazing. I see he hasn't released anything for quite a few years now, but he's someone I really, I've been to his shows. I've been side of stage and kind of on stage watching him and Diplo perform. And I've got a lot of respect for Skrillex. He turns up to places and he just plays and he performs and doesn't care where it is,
Well, that's the nature of being an amazing musician. Oh, sorry, Leslie. Look at us cutting one another off. Sorry. Jumping in.
Obviously, we could call ourselves blood, sweat, and tears. I think we're all hardworking, but you keep going because there's light at the end of the tunnel. So, Zeisha, I just wanted to read you something. And do you ever struggle with motivation or self-doubt?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's anyone out there who doesn't,
Yeah.
It's really tough, as I think, I don't know, I don't like to use being a woman as, oh, it's so hard, but shit, it's so hard. Like, the pressures of society and the pressures of, you need to look like this and you can't age and you have to do this in order to be this and blah, blah, blah. So all of those things, of course, it's, it's tough. But the motivation, I think when there's so much on too, and I think over the last 2 years, having nothing to do, but still having to do everything and still clean the house and do all the things that, just everything. It's just, there's a lot. So
it is a lot. And every day there's but I think we're not put through things you can't handle. So I think I'll just read you this. It says, when you're proud of yourself, you're motivated and free. Another reason why you should be proud of yourself is that it allows you to be self-motivated. You won't need constant validation from other people to feel good about yourself. This way, your motivation will not be too reliant on external approval. Right?
So true. Like, I think when you have self-love in a non-egotistical way, I feel like naturally you kind of attract amazing experiences, because how can you not when you're already on that, positive energy vibe with yourself?
Yes.
I agree with
yes, and you're comfortable being who you are and expressing who you are. And, you don't have to have everyone understand why you are the way you are, because we're all unique. So that's what makes life good.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the story that I put up of you on my Instagram, because I just love watching, like, you can just see like the passion in your body and just, the energy. And I was just like, yes, Zeisha, I'm using this one for sure, because I know what you mean. You can tell that you're so comfortable. You can tell you're on your own level and element on stage, which was so inspiring. So thank you so much for having a chat to me, gal.
Thank you. It's been lovely. It's always nice to sort of, it's as much as these interview type things are good for, broadcasting, the piece of me out there. It's good for me to sort of, hear, it's, you look back and you're like, oh, I have achieved quite a few things. Sometimes you forget that, sometimes you don't give yourself the credit for, going through things, for understanding like why you're here and your purpose. So it's been nice for me. So thank you both.
No stress. I'll see you on emails tomorrow for work.
Oh my God, yes, I know. Yay.
Back into the work week. But thank you so much for having me, Selena, and thank you, Zeisha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, wow. So interesting, Michelle. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, she's such an amazing person, and I think when people kind of see, this amazing performer on stage, they look at them as not necessarily not a human, but they just really look up to their talent, and not necessarily that they're just a normal person that's just fighting the same battles as everybody else, and she's real inspiration. So I'm glad that we could get her on tonight.
Yeah, that was my first time meeting her. And,
cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
Very inspiring. Back in the day when I did my internship, it was a short internship at George FM. George FM back then impacted thousands upon thousands of music lovers and gave them a platform to share their skills through huge events, all majorly successful. Always a full house at a George party. So back in those days, my favorite DJs, the females, were Ange and Philippa. Philippa's now in Berlin and she's teaching music. Yeah, they both went to the Red Bull Music Academy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
so you know what I mean? I just feel like I'm a little bit out the loop of the music industry in general, like going to concerts and stuff. But I could tell at the beginning of this, you're like, I'm so excited because obviously that's your scene. And
I was shaking, just like bringing back all these memories, and yeah. But also, I get quite nervous anyway. But
no, you're amazing. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, it's just a very meaningful time. I think I was living in Queenstown, early 20s, so it would have been, I don't know, mid to late 90s, and that's when I got hooked on electronic music, house.
What would be your dream like concert to go to if you could?
That's a good question. There's so many. Well, I've been to a lot of electronic events, but concerts, I haven't actually been to that many solo artist concerts. Just lots of events with, lots of multiple stages, and
Yeah, cool.
yeah. But I love jazz. I love live jazz. Yeah, it's quite fun. Blues. I'd actually like to go to the New Orleans Blues Festival.
Yeah.
I think there's something like that over there. But yeah, it's endless, absolutely endless. And I just hope people still keep making music. And it's not easy, because it's not easy being a creative. But there's always a way, and there's always a solution, and there's always going to be new inspiration. So people shouldn't give up. Yeah. Oh, and also Michelle. Special shout out to Immersive. Oh my gosh, they just gave us a donation on buyusacoffee.com/talkbacknz.
Oh, thanks, Jerome. Love
Thanks,
that.
Jerome. Blown away.
I better run.
Yeah.
I'm going out to meet some friends because I was antisocial after landing last night.
Okay. Well,
thank you
so much. And we're going to see you. We're going to see you on Friday.
Yeah. So next Friday, I'm going to be interviewing a girl that was on Too Hot to Handle, which is like a reality TV show on Netflix. So that's going to be super exciting. Yeah. Have a little chat about reality TV, which should be super interesting.
Exciting times. Okay. Thank you, dear.
That's all right. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you on Friday.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Hope you will join us this week. We have Matt Bowden on Tuesday, Wilma Bradbury on Wednesday, Carrie Brightwater on Thursday, and who Michelle just mentioned on Friday. And a surprise guest, I think, tomorrow, Francesca from Social Global Grind. So we'll update you during the day, tomorrow, each day of the week. Okay, have a good one. Thank you.